Hi there. This is a video tutorial on how to properly fit bumpers to your harmonica. It's not so simple. I'll explain it. The function of a bumper is to put a rubber thing around a mouthpiece screw so that when the slide hits it, you don't hear click. It softens the hit. When you go to replace a bumper, sometimes you can use bumper stock that you purchase where you cut your own. Sometimes manufacturers provide them, but they're oftentimes cut incorrectly and are too long. If a bumper is too small, it will not do its job and you'll hear a click, which is the slide hitting the metal of the mouthpiece screw. If it's too long, then the slide will bind slightly because it's squishing the bumper and it will start to touch the sides of the slot in the slide. So it must be correct. Well, the first thing is, if you can, you're going to want to get a bumper that seats into this mouthpiece properly, as that one does. And you can see, how high is it? Well, it's just high enough to reach the plane that the slide hits. Not much more. So in other words, it doesn't have to stick up real high, just enough. And I can see it sticking up a little bit beyond the slide, but not much. Now this repair will be made more complex because I don't have bumpers that are that small. I could take a drill bit and increase the size of the hole in the mouthpiece, but that would require quite a bit of handwork, which I don't want to do. So I do have other bumpers. This stock, which is a little bigger, but it won't seat in there properly. So all I need to do is to cut it in such a way where it sticks up the right amount. In other words, it really doesn't seat into that hole real well. It does just a little, but not like the other one. That would be too long. You need in terms of specifications of the bumper, you want it so that it's a diameter that can slide on the slot in the slide easily, but it also should grip the mouthpiece just a little. Or I'm sorry, the mouthpiece screw. It also should ideally seat into the mouthpiece itself. Sometimes that's not possible. You just don't have that stock. So what I'm going to do is cut down the bumper with a razor blade. That's an industrial razor blade on a cutting board, wooden cutting board. And I'll just shave some of it off. Enough to make what I think will be the right height bumper based on what the original was. That oftentimes is a good guide. What was the original? So I come here, I press it in, and I see, is this sticking up about the same amount as it was with the one that was in there before? And I can always take my slide, put it into position, and see, how does it behave? That was actually a good cut. And I was able to drop the bumper into the hole a little. So I'm on the right track here. I'll cut this other one, and you want to try to cut them accurately where they have a straight cut, not at an angle. That can create problems too. So then I take the mouthpiece screw like this, drop the bumper on and work to seat it. Now, just so you know, there's the more important bumper is actually the one up by the slide spring. That does most of the work. The other one has a function too, but I always am much more concerned about the one. Okay, it's time to test when I'll put together the heart. We do know at least that the screw fit close enough to the bumper that it's holding it into place. I always, when I'm reconstructing the heart, put it up against an edge. I'll take and put my bumper here, the slide here, and clear it from that hole. Bring this in, flip it around, seat it properly till it clicks. Then the way I do it is I work the slide the whole time I'm taking the screw in, so I can make sure that I'm not binding anything. That way I know it's coming together in a proper way. Ooh, we're all fixed. It's nice and quiet. It's doing a good job. It's a very precise instrument, the Pissardo. It doesn't rely on down pressure to set anything, it just holds the parts. And you can see it's quiet. That completes the repair on bumpers. So, recapping the information, you'll want to get yourself some bumper stock pre-cut from manufacturer or in tubes. It's cheaper this way. But you have to make sure that the outer diameter of the bumper clears the slot in the slide itself. And you want the hole in the center of the bumper, the size of the hole, to grip that mouthpiece screw just a little bit, or they're going to be dropping off every time you turn the mouthpiece down. And you'll try and seat that bumper into the hole in the mouthpiece. There's quite a few specifications. In this case, that didn't work real well, but I got it in a little. But all that really matters is the parts that's sticking out, because that's the part that protects, the slide from hitting the screw, and that spec was correct. So I cut them, looked at them, put the slide on where I could see was it hitting it properly, and that completes the repair. And now I'm back to new condition on my bumpers. I'm always very careful with my storage of bumpers. They go in their own little plastic bag. I have many different types of bumpers. And I seal it, and I'll put my tools back. And that completes the bumper repair.